What does blocking a bunch of celebrities and powerful people on social media have to do with political and economic movements? Let's talk about Blockout 2024. My name's Nicole. I've had a marketing company for over 16 years. And in that time, I've obviously seen a lot of trends. And honestly, this trend I'm pretty excited about. What I wanted to do was make a video for people who maybe aren't chronically online like I am about what's going on. Part one will be the sort of groundwork that has created this movement. Part two will be what finally set it off, the sort of powder keg moments of last week. And in part three, I'll talk about the implications of what this blockout will do and how you can participate if you want to. I'm recording this in May of 2024. So right now we're seeing as individuals, and I'm talking as an American, but probably this is true for other countries as well. We're seeing inflation affect the cost of a lot of things, from housing to groceries. And we see that wages are not keeping pace with inflation. We hear about people being offered jobs for the same amount of money as when they worked that same job 20 years ago, things like that. And we also see that people are increasingly homeless and people are starting to make decisions like, maybe I should start skipping a meal a day, or maybe I should see if I can, make my medication last a little longer. So we see that people are making these increasingly difficult choices. We also know that here in the US, there is a greater economic disparity between the richest of us and the poorest of us than there was during the French Revolution. And we all know what happened during the French Revolution, right? Guillotine. By the way, this movement has also been nicknamed the digitine because it's like the digital guillotine, but we'll get to that in a second. So there's this great economic disparity, and a lot of regular people are really feeling the effects of it. Now, the problem is that the mainstream media, in the meantime, has headlines like GDP is high, unemployment is low, and that stock prices are up, up, up. As a society, we're feeling a little bit gaslit. We're being told that the economy is great and everything is fine, but our day-to-day lives are showing otherwise. So there's an undercurrent here in the US and probably other places as well of frustration, of hopelessness, of anger that this is going on, and the powerlessness to do anything about it until we wait maybe for the next election or something like that. Now, at the same time all this is going on, there's a lot of geopolitical stuff going on, in particular the war between Israel and Palestine. I shouldn't say it's a war because it's not like that's a fair fight, but anyway. So in the meantime, we're watching innocent people get killed in real time. And because we're more connected than we ever have been as a society, we're literally seeing live streams of bombs, of people who have massive injuries, of kids who are eating grass to survive. And combine that with the economic disparity, we see where our money is going, and it is even more infuriating and frustrating and hopeless feeling. So I'm just going to say that I think this blockout thing was going to happen one way or the other, but I think the reason that it happened last week was a series of events that happened to coincide with each other. So number one was the Met Gala. Now, the Met Gala is a yearly event. The ticket price is $75,000. Imagine that you go out for an evening and spend $75,000. We can't imagine that, can we? And there's a theme every year. And the theme of this year's Met Gala actually was based on a short story that it seems like none of the celebrities read. The summation of this short story is that there is a wealthy couple and they have these flowers that stop time. And there's the horde of angry people that are trying to storm where they are. And they keep plucking flowers. And all that's doing is delaying the horde of people from being able to descend upon the home, right? I'll link to it if you want to read it because it's only 6 pages, but it's a bit of a commentary, right? And so everybody shows up at the Met Gala. Instead of being one of the peasants or the common people in the story, they all show up as, the very fancy people. So you have these celebrities who are being paraded out in these very expensive outfits, including somebody had a purse that was made of ice that was worth thousands of dollars. Just this extravagant display of wealth. Meanwhile, you have a population that can't even afford their basic necessities. The same night the Met Gala happens, Israel decides to attack Rafah, which is a community in Palestine. Now, the problem is that Israel told people to go to Rafah to be safe. So there's over 1 million people in this community And Israel started attacking Rafah, aka the place they told people they could be safe, the same night. And if that wasn't enough, and this is the actual powder keg moment, but I'm giving you all this background so you see where it's headed. An influencer named Haley Bailey posts a TikTok video. She's dressed as Marie Antoinette, and she does this trend where she says, "Let them eat cake," and posts the video.
Eat cake.
Here, take the bomb.
So then the internet explodes.
Hey everyone, editing Nicole. Another part of this is Macklemore at the same time releases a song called Hind's Hall, and it's dedicated to Hind, who is this little girl from Palestine who, I'll link to the story, it's horrific, but in this rap, he goes after the government, he goes after companies, he goes after complacent celebrities who aren't doing anything, and this song becomes the anthem. And he's going to donate all the proceeds to charity of this song. So I will link to where you can stream it if you want to do that. The song is also part of things because it gives people a sort of soundtrack to what is going on, in addition to all of this stuff that I just told you. Okay, back to the video.
And several things start happening, but one of them is a creator comes out with this idea of hashtag blockout 2024. And his premise is that, listen, these people can't make money off of us if we don't give them our attention. So we're going to block them and we're going to block their businesses. And not just celebrities, but we're going to block politicians, we're going to block CEOs, and we're going to block other people who monetize our attention, whether that's through brand partnerships, whether that's through ads, whether that's through selling products through related companies. So not only do you block necessarily, say, a Kim Kardashian, but you also block Skims, which is her shapewear company. So within the first 24 hours of this movement, Kim Kardashian loses 3 million followers. And what happens is some celebrities who have been silent about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict suddenly start posting videos about raising money for Operation Olive Branch. Is it because they suddenly feel like they should make a difference in the lives of people who need their help? Or is it because they're worried they're going to lose their audience? We'll never know. Now, what's interesting is I saw the hashtag blockout 2024 on TikTok when it had less than 500 videos about it. I saw it last Monday morning and I thought, oh, this is a really interesting idea. And so I made a blockout 2024 video about some marketing gurus I thought that people should block, because I thought, hey, if we're in a blocking mood, why not extend this to people who I have some beef with, right? The guy who started this trend has been posting a video every day and giving 3 people to block, but he's also said, hey, you should also make your own block list. So a lot of creators are making their block list and making it a link in their bio so people can easily click on it and just click on the individual names and hit block to kind of save from people having to search. Other people have suggested to look at Wikipedia at some of the highest followed Instagram accounts or whatever, and just individually click on the links from there. So you can do it kind of either way. You can also search for individual celebrities and block them individually. But what I noticed was, because I was doing the search method, is that I blocked Kylie and Kendall Jenner, and one of them has some kind of mobile app game. And after I blocked them, I immediately got an ad for their mobile game. I forgot what it was. I blocked that too. So at first, it's a little bit of whack-a-mole, because as you block, you're going to start seeing ads from these celebrity brands trying to get at you because you interacted with their content. So they're kind of retargeting you, but obviously they're retargeting you ineffectively. So just kind of be patient as you're getting those ads, and they will subside after a while. I've gotten less of them as I've blocked more people. Now, I'm going to say as an aside that the actual guy who started Blockout 2024 is a little bit problematic. I guess he started the movement so he could grow an audience and then monetize the video so he could buy a yacht. But I still think this is a good idea for a variety of reasons. Number one, attention is currency. Not only does your follower number matter for your social media, but your engagement does too. So if people are not engaging with celebrity content, whether it's that Kim Kardashian showed up in your feed and you scrolled by, you still count it as an eyeball. Whereas if you block her, you're not going to see anything. Number two, and other people are suggesting this too, if you go on these celebrities' websites, they sell things, and if you put a bunch of things in your online shopping cart and just leave it there, they're going to be spending money retargeting you, because what we've been taught as marketers is that if people have something in the cart and you send an ad to them or otherwise remind them to come back and check out, that a certain percentage of people are going to do that, and it's worth putting out those ads. Obviously, if a bunch of people are never going to buy your products and do that, you're going to be wasting your ad dollars on that. Now, in terms of outcomes we've seen from this so far, we've gotten some apology videos. Like we got an apology video that said nothing from Haley Bailey, saying that she didn't know what the phrase meant. But as someone pointed out, she graduated summa cum laude, and she talks about how she's done a lot of research for other types of topics. So the fact that she hadn't informed herself about a major world event that's been going on for almost 8 months kind of seems a little bit odd and maybe not what's going on. So we've seen some apologies. We've seen some celebrities get on the bandwagon of posting things for social good. What's interesting is Lizzo posted a video about Operation Olive Branch and about a family in Gaza. They're linked to their GoFundMe trying to raise money to get out of Gaza. But 24 hours before that, she posted a video where basically she said, celebrities don't have as much power as you think we do. And people's rightful response was, number one, you have an audience. And if you mobilize that audience, they can do a lot of good. And number two, you have more than enough money to actually fund this thing yourself. So if there's someone trying to raise $20,000 to Lizzo is probably nothing or pretty close to nothing. Whereas $20,000 to people who are having a hard time buying their groceries every week feels like a lot more money. Meanwhile, a lot of normal people have been donating to these GoFundMe campaigns for Gazan families. But what we've seen is that when celebrities or people with large platforms post videos, that the funds are raised a lot quicker, just because they have a larger base to work with. So even those $1 donations add up, or because they have money themselves that they're willing to match or something like that, that motivates people to take action. So I think we're going to see a lot of interesting movement in the next few weeks as celebrities try to figure out how they're going to play this, because their PR teams and other people have told them for a long time to not speak up about political or social issues, to just play down the middle of the road and to not offend as many people as possible. But the mass unfollowing is going to force their hand. I think Blockout 2024 is going to continue and just get bigger as it goes across multiple platforms, not just TikTok, but to Instagram and to other social media sites. And celebrities are going to probably have to ask themselves, at what point do I say something if I'm going to say something? Now, you may ask yourself, what does this have to do with me? The thing is, if people in power are motivated to act, it seems to work if we hit their pocketbooks versus if we hit anything else. And how I, as a normal person, can hit their pocketbooks is by not engaging with their content at all and by actively pushing it away. So what are some things you can do? First of all, you can check out the hashtag blockout 2024 on whatever social media platform you use and see what people are posting, just to learn more about it versus just hearing it from me. The second thing you can do is you can either go to the Wikipedia link of the most followed accounts on social media across different platforms. I'll link to them in the show notes. And rather than individually searching accounts, you can just click on the link and just block from there. The other thing you can do is find a celebrity like Jimmy Fallon. You can look at who he's following and block all of them first before you block Jimmy Fallon. That could be a quick way to do things too. And I will say it feels a little bit powerful and cool to block people. It's a little bit addictive. I've really enjoyed it the last couple of days. There's something to be said for you looking at someone being like, yep, I'm not going to transact with you at all. I'm going to pretend you don't even exist. It's a pretty powerful thing. Someone has since developed a Google Chrome extension that will help you block things as well. I will link to that in the show notes. And I'm sure other people are going to be coming out with things, even as I edit this video, related to the Blockout 2024 trend. Now, besides blocking people, if you want to do a little bit more, what some people are doing is they're going to these celebrities' websites. So for example, they're going to Skims, Kim Kardashian's shapewear website, and they're putting a bunch of stuff in their online shopping cart and they're just letting it sit there with absolutely no intention of buying it. And this does a couple of things. Number one, it messes up with the data that's being collected. So for example, as a marketer, one of the easy audiences, if I'm going to start with ads for somebody, is taking out an ad to people who have an abandoned cart and telling them to come back and finish the purchase. Obviously, that's not going to work really well if these people have absolutely no intention of buying anything, right? Waste their ad dollars trying to target you. The second thing is that it ties up inventory. With an e-commerce site, you don't want to oversell merchandise. So when you put something in the cart, it kind of puts it aside. It takes it out of the inventory for a little bit to let you finish the transaction process. So you can kind of hit them with sales that way too. But the whole point of this Blockout 2024 is that the only reason that people have power is because we, the people, have given them power, whether it was by electing them, whether it was by giving them some of our money, or whether it was by giving them some of our attention so that they can turn that attention into money. So while we wait for the next election to vote in leaders who are going to listen to us, at least hopefully, we can make a difference by affecting the economies of these very rich people. And as a bit of an aside, but something I think will ultimately be a benefit, is that if all these major celebrities and brands are being blocked, if these platforms still want to run ads, they have to run ads theoretically to products and services or to creators that you actually want to see, aka haven't blocked, right? So I think that if you're a small business who wants to run ads, now might be a good time to do it, just because a lot of the larger companies are not going to be able to run the same kinds of ad spends that they used to and get the same effect that they used to, because a lot of people are blocking them. It leaves room in the market for you, which I think is great. Now, this movement isn't without its critics. There's a lot of people who say that this is pointless and that these people already have money or are already making money in other ways that aren't directly through social media. And as people have pointed out, the creator of this movement is problematic himself in this economy where we don't have much control over anything, but we do have control over our attention. By consciously consuming content from brands and businesses and people who align with our values and are willing to live in society with us, I think is really important. I will leave instructions on how to block people on different platforms in the show notes of this video, like how to block someone on TikTok, how to block someone on Instagram, that kind of thing. I might make a second or third video depending on how many new developments there are, but that's where we're at right now. I think this is a really cool movement. I think it was going to happen one way or the other, but the kind of powder keg of events that were last week are the reason that it's happening now. And I think as consumers, we have to understand, and I think this movement has reminded us that not only do we have power with our dollars, but we also have power with our attentions, and that collectively our attention is worth something. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.